Does your anime hair look flat and messy? Because mine did. Therefore, I studied anime art style for a week and learned a couple key lessons that helped me improve my drawings. So in this video, I'll show you everything that you need in order to draw better anime hair. So the first thing that is actually a game changer when it comes to drawing hair is a simple base first. So by a base, what I mean is a simple head underneath. So never draw hair just straight up. First, let's just draw a basic head first, because it's much easier to add some hair. So always start with a basic head. It can be even a simple like a ball with a jaw. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Obviously, if you're drawing a character, then obviously draw a face. But if you're just practicing drawing hair, just start with a basic mannequin like this, boom, and that's it. So this will let you draw much better hair, and also they won't look that flat because you have a base underneath that. So starting with a base is a game changer. So next you need to know about a hairline. So how I establish hairline is basically I divide the face into thirds, but I like to change the thirds into like different proportions. So for example, here we have 1/3, there second, so let's say 1, 2, and there would be a third one. The basic head would be same here size, and then same here size. So we can just establish it somewhere here. Let's take nose for and eyebrows, boom, around here would be our hairline. But then depending on the character that you're drawing, there would be a part in the head. So for example, here we have this. So basically hair go from this in that direction. So it would be boom, even back here, boom, boom, boom. So basically hair are going from this line. So something like this, boom, 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 boom. So for example, if we made our part here, let's say like this, then the hair would go boom, boom, let's say boom, 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 boom. Something like this. Basically, hair just are going from this part here. So now the next thing is to make sure that your hair actually are following the curvature of the face of the head. So we obviously have some chunk of the head here, as you can see. So just make sure that they're not going straight into the head. Just add a little bit of curve around there. Also add volume, so don't make your hair super flat. I mean, if you're going for that look, then obviously you can, but don't make the hair start, let's say this is top of the head, so your hair would be something like this, boom, like more like a swimming cap. So no, just add a little bit of volume and it's a little bit better. But just make sure whenever you're drawing hair, it's a little bit above the top of the head. Then obviously we have a gravity in our world, and in anime world probably also. So we need to just make sure that gravity actually works on our hair. So pretty much we know that the gravity pulls everything down. So if we're drawing, let's say like a bank, obviously it will go down, not like randomly go here. No, it might go if we have an air. So obviously if we'll have air, then the hair will go into one side. Obviously depending which direction does the air go, boom, and it goes this direction, boom. So obviously the things would fly, like some random hair strands, maybe something like that, boom, boom. We just need to remember about the forces. Also, if we have a head, let's say this head, take and rotate it like that, boom. If you have just simple gravity, obviously then let's say there is a ponytail, obviously it would go like that, down. Same with some here, like that, boom, boom. Some random also hair, like that, boom. So we need to just pay attention to the forces. Now also, if you want my brushes, they are for free in the description below, and with them you can get 30 art tips that will help you improve your art in 30 days. So next thing that will help us draw much better hair is breaking them down into basic shapes. So here we have a super basic outline of hair. So basically you see here is one shape, boom. Here would be another. We can even simplify it to something like this, boom. Smaller one here, boom, boom. Then we have a small shape here, boom. Just break them down into basic shapes. And what I do in the beginning of every like drawing is basically I just outline the hair. So I do something like this, boom, boom. Maybe there are some hair, let's say back, so I'll do something like this, boom. Now I wouldn't even draw this part here. I'll just draw like a triangle like this, boom. Then for this I would do like a simple curve, something like this. Then here a simple curve also, boom, line, line, curve, boom, and something like this. That would be the shape that I'm starting with. So boom, so I will start with a simple outlines like these. But whenever you draw them, what you can also do is use the CSI curves. So pretty much just break them down into curves. So here we see a C curve, same as here. Here a straight line, this straight line or like a small C. Here would be line, line, C, boom, another C, line, line, curve, curve like this. Now for example here we have an S curve here, another S curve here, line, a small curve actually, here S, C, 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 line, 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 boom. I mean, this could be like 2 lines, C, 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 and line and C, boom. Just breaking down into these basic curves. To make her like less flat, will also make them more interesting, have a little bit of flow. Obviously, what you can also do is have flow in your hair, which these curves see as I will do it. So for example, here we have like a C, then we have another C like this, boom, then like a line, boom, another like a line here, then here, boom, now here, boom, 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 and here would be like something like this. So basically make a flow in your hair like this, C into C into C, or like an S into C into line into C. Just have a flow, because these curves will actually guide the viewer's eye. So for example, here, this, you see that it's line, it's an arrow, another arrow, boom, arrow, boom. Same here, an arrow, an arrow, an arrow. So your eye will naturally just follow this path here, boom, 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 like here. You can start looking here, and then go whoomp, whomp, bong, boom, 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 and you have your face here. So just use these curves, break the hair into basic shapes. It will help you like make less messy hair. For example, here you see that we have still simple shapes. Some S curve here, some S curve here, boom, like a S curve here, some lines, some S curves, boom, line, C, C, another C, boom. Same here, boom, boom, boom. First, start with an overall just a basic outline of the hair. Then you can go inside and do a smaller shapes like these. And with that, whenever you create these shapes, what you can do is small, medium, big. So what I mean by that is basically you want to have some shapes that are big. For example, this shape here would be a big shape. Here, let's say we can make a medium shape. Here inside this, boom, would be medium. Now this here could be a small shape. So pretty much just have some big shapes, medium shapes, and smaller shapes. It will make it much more interesting. For example, if you have like a hair here and you just put everything the same length from each other, it will look boring and unnatural. So what you can do is basically have this, and then maybe here would be one divide, then maybe here next one, close one more, boom, boom. So maybe like a bigger one like this, boom, and then smaller here. So add some variety in sizes, okay? So don't make everything the same size. So even here we have like a big one, medium one, and smaller one. And also pay attention to the shape language that you have and you want to make, because some hair can be like more oval, like more curved, and the other can be like spiked. So if you have like a one spiky hair here, okay, it won't look really appealing. If you have like a super spiky hairstyle and then you have like a curved couple of hairs here, it also won't look that good. For example, here you see that we have these hair strands here like this, same here, and basically you can see this same hair strand in the whole hair. Same here, we have this shape here, we have one here, boom, then behind we have another one, here we have another one, here we have another one, then here we have some other ones also in the back. So just have a cohesive shape language, and obviously use ribbons. So obviously we know how ribbons look, are basically these boys here, and we just want to use them. They're super good. For example, here we have a little bit bigger ribbons, boom. They would probably be something like this, probably, boom, boom. They're super great because they show overlap. So for example, here we have one ribbon, then we have something here, boom, now other one here, boom, boom. From that we have another one going from, boom, boom. So they are great to adding a little bit more detail. You can do like a curved one like this, boom, here, say something like this, and boom. So we see here would be some shadow, let's say, boom, on this side, and this would be in light, and then we have shadow here, another plane here, boom, boom. They're just super great, and you can even use the small, medium, big rule here. So big, medium, small. Now to the next part, which will help our hair look a little bit more realistic, even though we want to still use Anime Arsa. So for example, here we want to break these shapes that we got here into smaller shapes. So something like this here, like some hair. So what I mean by that? So for example, here we would have this base here, then boom, here another one. We basically here take a brush and just break it into smaller shapes, then these shapes into more smaller shapes. Boom. Add some details like these random cuts in the hair. Now another one would be here, then here going behind. Boom. Same here. Instead of having a shape like this hair, boom, boom, we would break it into some basic shapes. So for example, we know that this is a ponytail, so just curve some shape around it like this, boom, and it will give a little bit more shadows. Next thing is we want to add some random hair sticking out. It will add a little bit flatter look to it, a little bit more pleasant and appealing. Obviously depends on if you want this, because it can give a little bit more realistic look to your drawings. For example, here we have a random hair sticking out, boom, from here, boom, and obviously less is more. Don't add like one hairs, because it will just look like the character doesn't have a brush. Boom, 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 it will look super messy. So, and it will also break the shape. So use less of them. Less is more always. And also whenever you're drawing a hair like these, let's take a brush. Let's say this is your hair strand. Okay. You don't want to add some details like this. Boom, boom, boom. Instead, we want to add some lines at the beginning and at the end. Boom, boom. It will make it a little bit more appealing and better to look. You can also make them softer. So what I like to actually do is having my outside of the hair a little bit darker, and then the insides a little bit softer, a little bit more faded and less opacity. Now, then what we can do is to add our hair a little bit more depth. We can add a simple ambient occlusion. So pretty much between the hair, you can add some parts where there is shadows. This is what ambient occlusion pretty much is. So basically areas where there is not much light. Here, maybe here would be also, boom, this, let's say this is back here, this here also, that here like that, boom, some ambient more occlusion. I would just add a little bit more detail. You can always curve it like this, then here, that, boom, perhaps even something like this here. So this will also give a lot of depth into your hair. So now let's quickly draw a simple hair. Okay, so here we have a simple base. Let's now add some basic hair on top of that. So first let's start with adding a basic part. So let's put it somewhere here. Let's say also that here would be a forehead, then a part somewhere on this side. So now we can add simple shape here. Let's make it like a part here, and this goes here. Add some volume, boom, 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 one line here, here. Now this could go here like this, and here would be like a part where they would go on chest here, and this something like this here, boom. Now maybe a back ones, this also goes down, then we have here some hair, boom. Let's say these are going behind the shoulder here. Now we have our basic hair shape. Maybe push it a little bit here to add some more volume. We see flip it. Now we can maybe make it a little bit thicker to see our hair, maybe a curve here, boom. There would be the parting here, boom, shoulder here, boom, boom. There would be this part here, so it would go like this, boom, boom. Now this would go here. We can add perhaps like a triangle here, boom. Now obviously let's add some more details, so more hair strands like this here. We can add some simple hair like this here. Maybe make this like a curve here. This goes here, so there would be a little bit shadow we can make. Boom. And now let's say like this and that here. So obviously shadow here, boom, here. Now add a little bit of hair texture. Same here like this, boom, boom, boom. For now it's just super messy, but we just want to establish some shapes behind, like here, boom, say this place here. So now here, let's just decrease the opacity a little bit and now go to the next part and add some more details. For example, here we can still make the brush a little bit smaller, go here, maybe there would be a hair strand here, like that, boom. Okay, now this would go here like this, and this also, this curve here, perhaps a little bit hair sticking out here like this, boom. This a little bit more shadow here. Now this goes down here, a little bit more ambient occlusion here, maybe add even one more here, boom. Add some small lines here, like that. Now there would be another shadow part here, boom. This goes under this, there would be shadow like that, boom. Go to top here, some parts like this, boom. From this, there would be a curve that goes here, maybe here even some shadow. Just for now, just put some shapes everywhere. And now this shape here, maybe we can curve it a little bit, smooth it. Here, a random hair sticking out, boom. Maybe even we can curve it like that, make a nice ribbon here. That. Let's add some more hair here. Hair strands, boom. This, then another one here like that. Then shadow would be here. Here we can perhaps make a little bit like a ribbon here. Boom. Make it curve. That. Then from that here we would have perhaps a bigger one, something like this shape. And now maybe another sticking out here. This here. Maybe push it a little bit higher. Maybe like here one. Then the other. Boom. Also, you can add in the middle where the actually hair changes its direction. So here it goes that here, and then there would be a curve and it goes down. We can add some simple lines here, same here, make also like a hair sticking out here, a curve that here, maybe one hair sticking here, just reinforce these here, add another curve here, add some ambient occlusion here, like that, maybe some texture even. Okay, push this here so it's more about curvature of the face, of the head, like this here. Add some first here, break it into smaller shapes. Maybe we can even do something like this, ambient occlusion here, curve, boom, that here, something like this, boom. Okay, another one here, just add some breaks so it's this, boom. Now maybe we can add some hair here, small one sticking out, even another one here like this to break the shape a little bit, or even like one behind it to add some overlap like this, even one hair sticking here, boom, that, another here, boom. And yeah, we have a super simple hair. Obviously then you can go with your inking brush and just go decrease the layer opacity here and just go and refine it a little bit more. Here would be something like this, boom, ambient occlusion more, that maybe it's a little bit too dark, but whatever, just to show, boom. Then here would be another one, here would be another one, boom, maybe some smaller ones here like that, some shadow here, and obviously then you would have like a more line art, so you can just go and color this. So yeah, here was how I simply just draw more anime style hair. So like super simple, like all of these here. Obviously then you would go and refine it a little bit. So yeah, this will actually help you draw much better anime faces. And also if you want, I'm making a course about drawing more stylized faces, where there will be a bonus one for anime faces, how to draw and render them. So pretty much you'll go from a simple bow to a fully rendered head in more stylized style. So now it's half off until I just finish it and release it in the description below. Now if you're struggling with drawing anime faces, you can check out this video here that will help you with it. And also you can check out my Patreon for monthly tutorials. Bye.